Welcome to another adventure with Getting Lost. Where are we today? Well, we are doing our adventure along the Kallang River, and this may be the final adventure that we have here along the Kallang River. So join me as I'll give you a bit of a history lesson, a bit of a location lesson. Let me show you around this area here and all the interesting features that we can find here, which will happen after the intro. Welcome back, and today we are having our final adventure here along the Kallang River. And what we're going to do here is we're going to walk around, we're going to see some interesting features here along this area, and also maybe learn a bit of history. And of course, what we'll see most of is the river, the Kallang River. And so this is the MRT track. And the MRT track, if you follow it further down, will bring you to the Kallang MRT station, which we will walk past. Since we're in the Kallang area, have you ever wondered where the name Kallang came from? So Kallang, as a place, has derived its name from one of Singapore's earliest settlers, the Orang Kallang. They originated from Java, Indonesia, and the Orang Kallang were skillful boat dwellers and had already made their home at the swamps of the Sungai Kallang when Sir Stamford Raffles arrived at the island. So in 1982, the Orang Kallang were resettled by the Temenggung of Johor to the Pulai River after Singapore was ceded to the British. And in the past, this area we are standing on here, this whole area used to be a huge mangrove swamp, and it existed on both sides of the river. On the southeastern bank was filled up in the 1930s for the construction of the Kallang Airport. And in the past, there wasn't MRT station here, there wasn't roads here, there wasn't HDB flats here. This area here all used to be a mangrove swamp. But this time, now, in present, what we need to do is we need to get across here so that we can continue following along the river. We are walking along here, and in front of us, the road you see here is actually the Kallang Road. And across, after you pass Kallang Road, when you cross the road, that's the area of the old Kallang Airport. The reason why the people covered over the swamp, because they wanted to build an airport, Singapore's first aviation airport. So the construction of the airport began in 1931 with the reclamation of 300 acres of mangrove swamp in the Kallang Basin area. And what they did was they need to displace the people living here. So in the area here, there used to be a lot of local people living in the area, which were relocated to another area. So what happens was, this area here in the past, before the reclamation, would have looked very different. And if we keep walking along the road here, what we'll do is we will reach the river, and crossing the river, or across the river, there's a bridge, and the name of the bridge is called Sir Arthur's Bridge. And this bridge was built in 1921. So the people that used to live in this area here, the Orang Kallang, were among the indigenous inhabitants of Singapore. in the past, they used to constitute half of the approximately 1,000 residents in Singapore at the time of Raffles landing in January 1819. So the Orang Kallang were boat dwellers who lived in the swamp at the mouth of the Kallang River, and the Kallang River was named after the community of Orang Kallang. Then in 1964, billions of tons of earth were transported from Toa Payoh to be dumped into the Kallang Basin. The Kallang River was straightened, the roads that were here were widened. About 388 acres of new land was made available, and by 1968, the area here was reserved for setting up of light and medium industries and also low cost flats. So the new area was named Kallang Basin Industrial Estate, which was a new estate and was completed. And when it was completed, it was Singapore's second largest after Jurong Industrial Estate. Some of its early tenants included the Blue Box Factory, which was Singapore's first toy factory, opened in 1968, Texas Instrument 1969, and General Electric 1970. And in addition to that, some 15,000 housing units were built to accommodate the workers and those who were affected by the new urban renewal. Then in 1971, the Kallang Basin Industrial Estate was further expanded. Nearby, there was this kampong called Kampong Sopo, a squatter colony which was demolished and developed into a new light industry area. More than 100 families from that kampong were compensated and resettled by the HDB at Toa Payoh, and the old shophouses along Kallang Road was torn down and replaced by two 7-story factories used to manufacture garment, electronics and printing material. But now today, where we are at now is at the Kallang Riverside Park, a park that we have been to before, but as we are here now, we are looking where we are is, well, at least behind us is the river and the mouth of the river where the river ends. We will continue walking because this area here, there used to be a very iconic location which has been demolished and you can hardly see a trace of it anymore, but we will see what we can find there. Let's start with walking down here, and we are now along the Kallang Riverside Park. Here is the Kallang River, and just imagine, we have actually walked here and we are almost towards the end of our journey, and our journey began at the source of the Kallang River, which was Lower Pierce Reservoir, and we have almost walked 10 kilometers down from there all the way here, and we are reaching towards the end of the river. And here we are walking along this path, and this area here now, this big huge water area here, is actually a very popular water sports area where people come here regularly to do dragon boating, for canoeing, and there are a lot of places here where you can actually enjoy that activity. And also the bridge over there. The bridge over there is actually Merdeka Bridge, and for those of you who follow my adventures, previously we were over there. We were actually following the Kallang River, and Kallang River actually brought us there. But in this area here, there used to be a very iconic location, now flatland and condominium. But in past those trees here, there used to be a very iconic location. The iconic location was actually the Kallang Gaswork, which was built in 1862 by the Singapore Gas Company. Its purpose was to supply piped gases for street lighting. And the Kallang Gaswork had produced and supplied gas continuously for more than a century, except during the Second World War. So in this area here last time, locals would avoid the Kallang area due to the stench of gas, as they feared that the gas from the works would explode. In the 1950s, more piped gas was used for cooking and heating than it supplied for the street lamps. So the last gas supplied street lamp was officially closed in 1956 and were replaced by electric powered street lamps. So in 1958, the Kallang Gaswork commissioned 3 state-of-the-art production plants and switched its feedstock from coal to fuel oil, and it became the first gaswork in Southeast Asia to use fuel oil as a raw material. Then in 1966, it changed its feedstock again, this time to a cleaner and more efficient naphtha. Then in 1978, the more than 137-year-old Kallang Gaswork was retired. That was because the all primary gas production in Singapore has been shifted to another location. So because of that, the operations here were ceased, and most of the plants, equipment and structures were dismantled. So as a tribute to the Kallang Gaswork's contribution to Singapore's economic development, the supporting pillars and girders of its gas holder number 3, which was the gaswork's oldest remaining structure, was preserved and refurnished, and is here now at the park as a reminder of the importance of the Kallang Gaswork to the development of Singapore. So where we are now is the Kallang River, and the Kallang River, this river here, where you see all this wide expanse of water, actually ends at the Merdeka Bridge, and that is where the mouth of the river is, which is at the other side. Earlier, this is the Kallang District Park, and the land beside us now, where it's actually a big empty field, is where the old Kallang Gasworks used to be. And because it was there for more than 137 years, been operating for such a long time, many people believe that the land over there, could be polluted, could be not suitable for, definitely not suitable for a farm. But even here, you can see here is the remnants of the old gas holder number 3 structure, which is the pillars and girders from the gas holder. But what we came here for, what we followed all the way from the source, is the Kallang River. And here is the mouth of the river and where the river ends. And so this ends our adventure here today at the Kallang River. Over here is the Rochor River, but that we will cover another day. So I guess this ends our long adventure, but in the past I did come here before once, and I did find a very secret place here at the Kallang Riverside Park. And are you interested to know more about that? If you are, maybe in a week's time I will release another video about that. Anyway, that will be a special video for you for another time, and I hope you will enjoy that. Anyway, again, thank you very much for joining me here today. We have explored the Kallang River from the source until here, the mouth of the river. And it has been a long journey. We've seen through many things. We have walked from nature reserve area with lots of trees, with big natural reservoir, to housing estates, to industrial estates, coming up all the way here where we finally reach the mouth of the river, and also the marina barrage, or the marina reservoir. And it's been a long journey, and I hope you enjoyed this. And that ends our adventure. But before you go, please do me a favor. Please help me by liking my video, sharing my video, and also subscribing to my channel. And lastly, but the most important thing, the thing that you have to do is to join me for my next adventure. I will see you there. Bye bye.